intend to resign as party leader, as prime minister,
Now the memes are great, but let's get into what does this mean, Justin Trudeau stepping down as party leader? Ladies and gents, welcome back. Lots of good news. I mean, this is good news at the end of the day. Justin Trudeau tendered his resignation as the Prime Minister of Canada. He's stepping down to become the interim Prime Minister of Canada. I know, it's unbelievable. Did he really quit? Well, there's a lot to get into. There's too much to cover in one video, so there's gonna be several videos talking about specifically this. But let's just get into it. It is something else entirely. Justin Trudeau resigning his position as Prime Minister. This was his speech just yesterday.
Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process.
Right. Okay. There's a little bit more context to that. He didn't resign as Prime Minister. He's not just stepping down entirely. In fact, this is amazing. This is the Nostradamus we know as the official opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, calling it out perfectly. Justin Trudeau did just what Pierre Poilievre predicted. He resigned as leader. Governor General is going to prorogue Parliament until Canadians will, and Canadians will have to suffer while the Liberal Party sorts out their stuff. This is Pierre Poilievre saying exactly that days before. This was his interview with Jordan Peterson.
Then there's the possibility that the Trudeau resigns and then goes to the Governor General and says we need to shut down Parliament while the Liberal Party then chooses a new replacement. And by the way, you know, the Liberal media is all saying, well, surely you wouldn't want to trigger an election during the Liberal leadership race. Excuse me, the Canadian people are not obliged, 41 million people are not obliged to wait around while this party sorts out its shit. Mm-hmm. Like, these guys could have got rid of Trudeau a year and a half ago. They knew he was a disaster then. And now they say, well, we're low in the polls, so we have to get rid of him. Now, you didn't care when he was just depriving single mothers of food for their kids or doubling housing costs or unleashing crime in neighborhoods across the country. But now you're really concerned about getting rid of him because your poll numbers are down and you want to keep your job. So
that's exactly what happened. It was the poll numbers that really drove this and the reason why Justin Trudeau has stepped down in this case. Now, Brian Lilley putting this out there, the selfish actions of Justin Trudeau have left Canada without an effective government. In fact, it could be 6 months before we have an effective government with a real mandate, all while Trump threatens tariffs. Couldn't come at a worse time. Now, he should have done this a year ago. If the Liberal Party wanted to have a leadership race, that should have happened a year ago. But instead, we're going to go through this leadership race in short order over the next 90 days. This is what Canada's an election ahead of the election. Now, in all fairness, I guess they're not going to pull Kamala Harris and just insert a leader into that party, but this is where we're at with this. Now, Pierre Poilievre putting this out, saying nothing has changed. Every Liberal MP and leader contender supported everything Trudeau did for 9 years, and now they want to trick voters by swapping in another Liberal face to keep ripping off Canadians for another 4 years, just like Justin. Here's his sentiment on this one.
Good day. Canadians desperate to turn the page on this dark chapter in our history might be relieved today that Justin Trudeau is finally leaving. But what has really changed? Every Liberal MP in power today and every potential Liberal leadership contender fighting for the top job helped Justin Trudeau break the country over the last 9 years. All Liberal politicians actively worked to pass into law the job-killing inflationary carbon tax, a tax that Carbon Tax Carney endorsed in his book. All supported a law quadrupling the tax over the next 5 years. All voted for or actively supported Trudeau's out-of-control spending, debt, and immigration. All passed Trudeau's housing policies that doubled the cost of homes. All Liberal politicians helped pass catch and release bail and house arrest for the most rampant reoffenders, policies that increased violent crime 50%, gun crime 116%, and hate crime by 250%. So given that Liberal MPs and leadership contenders unanimously supported everything Trudeau has done, why dump him now, right before an election? Have they had a change of heart? Is it because they feel guilty that they doubled housing costs, hiked taxes, unleashed crime, broke immigration, forced a quarter of the population into poverty? No. They continued supporting Trudeau when he did all of those things. No, their only objection is that he is no longer popular enough to win an election and keep them in power. They want to protect their pensions and paycheck by sweeping their hated leader under the rug months before an election to trick you and then do it all over again. Now, while leaderless Liberals focus on saving their jobs and fighting each other for power, the country spirals out of control, an out-of-control housing emergency, an out-of-control migrant crisis, an out-of-control $62 billion deficit, not to mention tariff threats from the United States. Oh, and another NDP Liberal carbon tax hike kicks in this April 1st.
It's automatic. Yeah.
Everything's out of control. And now
not to mention that their automatic raises are coming in. That doesn't stop if Parliament doesn't sit, because that's something that they've put in place so that they can have their raises as this all occurs. Now, I put this out there yesterday on X. Before you get too carried away with the celebrations, Canada is not going to an election. Understand that Justin Trudeau will still be Prime Minister of Canada until the Liberals select a new leader. In the meantime, Justin Trudeau still has the power of the executive. Even though Parliament's not in session, he can still do executive decisions. He can do orders in council, all of these things. He has the power of executive to do things like ban more guns, confiscate private property, enact emergency powers, and appoint officials in government. We still have work to do, even even after he is gone. And here he is hugging all your guns that he's taken away from you, or he's trying to. And here's a perfect example. The Liberal Party putting this out there just a day before he resigns. They knew it was happening. This is something they had put in place and were ready for, but they were still campaigning on Justin Trudeau and his statements. There are more than 200,000 short-term rentals across the country, like Airbnbs or VBRAs, that could be turned into housing. We just need to confiscate your property. So we're giving cities more resources to crack down on those rentals and unlock more homes for Canadians. What does unlocking more homes mean? It means unlocking your property and putting other people in it, despite what you would like to do with your own private property. Now, I know there's a housing shortage in Canada, but instead of the opening the market up for and regulation, things like that, so people could build more homes, and perhaps tightening up on immigration a little bit more. Yeah, they've offered decreases to their proposed increases in immigration. No, there's still people flooding in mass numbers. This is being pointed out by Marty Up North, saying, I warned you that the gun ban was a nasty precedent. I get it that some of you don't like guns, but you failed to realize that the gun ban was an affront to your property rights. You give Trudeau permission to just randomly confiscate legally acquired property. Now Trudeau wants to go after your home. Now you have extra room that you want to rent out on weekends to tourists? Nope. You're going to have to accommodate immigrants on long-term leases. You happily retired, and so you spend your winters in Florida or Arizona or any of those places where snowbirds go. Thanks for letting us use your home to house refugees while we're looking for an apartment for a permanent place for them. And to the chorus of people who keep repeating the mantra that it could never happen, go back to 2015 and ask yourself if you ever thought that someday you'd be mandated to show proof of vaccination just to go shopping at a Walmart. That's really where we're at. The Liberal Party hasn't changed. They just want to get rid of their unpopular leader so they can continue down the exact same path they've been going for the past 9 years. This is a trick. This is a way to get themselves back into power. We can't fall for this. We can't fall for this. I'm going to continue this story in another video, going long on this one. I'd love to hear what you have to think about Justin Trudeau's faux resignation, kind of resignation. He is, at the end of the day, going to be out of office, but he's buying time for the Liberals, and this is all this is about. Let me know in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.